G'day viewers, I'm Bernard.
And I'm Paul.
And we're Fanning Dempsey National Park.
And you are watching Rage. So, Bernard and I started throwing ideas around for this project while we were in lockdown in Melbourne. And we worked on stuff for like a year and a half or 2 years before we were actually able to get together. And at that point, it was like, well, where are we going to record this? Where should we go? And mostly because of this next band, Aha, we decided to go to Norway.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all because of Aha. This is one of the first records I ever owned. What was it called? Stay on These Roads? I think that was the name of the record. Anyway, you know this song, Take On Me. It's a pop classic. And
as is the video. The video is that first kind of painted animation style, I think, right?
Yeah.
That anyone had ever really seen.
Yeah, it was like, how did they do that? Like, seriously, high-tech, amazing, futuristic video. I'm pretty sure you can do it now with an iPhone.
And also, the singer's voice he's criminally underrated as the singer, this guy. He's an incredible pop singer with a crazy range.
Criminally underrated, but possibly should face criminal charges because of the lyrics to this song.
Look, we're not talking about that.
No idea what he's talking about. What does Take On Me even mean?
It's a play on Take Me On, isn't it?
Well, he does say that afterwards, but I still don't know what the first bit means.
Have you ever heard this song?
A couple of times. Okay, I'm sorry, I've never heard it. It's just because we were in Norway, I just thought I'd better program this. We did try to get him into the studio to get involved in our little project, but he'll rue the day.
He'll be sorry. You'll be sorry, Jurgen Klopp. Oh no, hang on. He's the manager of Liverpool. Sorry,
Morten Harket.
Morten Harket.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Morten. Well, actually, we went all that way.
We
for
did
him
go
and
all the way.
Didn't get him.
He was completely uninterested. Next time we're going to Morton Island. Okay, Take On Me. Aha. Hello. In 1998, around about then, Powderfinger played a show at Monash University in Melbourne, which quite likely something for Kate played on as well. And that day I'd been walking along Chapel Street in Melbourne and I went into Revolver and I bought myself this new shirt, which was white long sleeve t-shirt with, I think it was 23 on it with a red and blue circle around it. I was like, oh, that shirt is awesome. I'm getting that and I'm going to wear it tonight and I'm going to be like hot stuff. That kind of scenario.
Right.
Get my shirt, put it on, go to the show, really excited. Go on stage with the shirt on, playing the show, look over to my left. Brian Canham from Pseudo Echo is standing side of stage wearing the shirt that I'm wearing. It was intimidating enough that he was there. But then he was wearing... It was just one of those who wore it better moments.
Have you spoken since?
Yeah, we had a punch up in the car park later. So
yeah,
which Brian.
So now you have two of those shirts?
Beat me to an absolute pulp.
Now he has two of those shirts.
But anyway, that's not the story I want to tell. I want to talk about this song "Listening" by Pseudo Echo, who. It was really the first time I became aware of an Australian band that was really playing electronic music. Because I was just a Countdown kid. I wasn't involved in any of the kind of alternative radio stuff or anything like that.
You weren't cool.
I wasn't cool. Still trying and failing. But yeah, this is the first time that I'd heard a band like this that were Australian.
Yeah.
And also, I was a big Bowie fan, and I think the vocal in this song is heavily influenced by David Bowie. It's got that kind of baritone-y...
The croony thing.
Yeah, there's a little bit of croony element there. But they were kind of a rock band as well, Pseudo Echo.
They were. He was a really good guitar player.
Amazing guitar player.
I mean, we talked about Aha before, so, you know, I was kind of in Aha world, and then I remember seeing Pseudo Echo on the telly as well and going, oh, they've got one of those fancy synthesizers too.
A Keytar.
Yeah.
That might have been the first time I saw a Keytar.
It definitely was for me. The Funky Town, when they
That's right. That was a little bit later maybe.
Town, I was like, he's got a guitar, but it's a keyboard.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I coincidentally this morning saw on social media that it's the 40th anniversary of listening.
Wow.
So happy anniversary, Pseudo Echo. Top work all round by you guys. And this is listening, Pseudo Echo.
I mean, where to begin?
Where do you start with
Oates.
Paul and Oates? Paul and Oates, which our friend Sean Richards actually, as soon as I told him we were making a record together, called us Paul and Oates, which I thought was very unfair because no one wants to be Oates. Everyone wants to be Daryl.
It's true. Sorry, John. But
Sorry, John.
Everyone does want to be Daryl.
But we do aspire to a very public feud like Hall and Oates at some stage.
Yeah, there will be restraining orders.
Yeah. At the minimum, at the absolute minimum.
We're just getting through one thing at a time.
Yeah. So anyway, when I was a younger man, I was not a fan of Hall and Oates. In fact, I found songs like this offensive, to be honest. I would still tap my foot and whistle along, but I found it really annoying. I was such a guitar head that I found this stuff really annoying. But this is I guess this is an indication of my growing maturity.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about when I was a teen.
I'm proud of you, Bernard.
Thanks, Paul. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Where now I can see the level of songwriting pop genius that Hall and Oates were.
Yeah.
No longer. Giant feud.
But we'll always have the music.
We won't always have Hall and Oates, but we'll always have their music. That's a really sweet thing to say, Paul.
I thought so.
I think we should send that message to those guys. It might help them in their time of need.
John, Daryl, from us. We hope you're okay. We hope you're in a good place. Thanks for the tunes.
Thanks so much for the music, guys. Really appreciate it. Good on you.
Yes, I have vivid memories of being, 8 years old and getting in the car with my sisters to go to school in the morning and sitting at the same set of traffic lights at around about the same time every day for weeks. And this song came on the radio at the same intersection every morning without fail at the same time. And it's Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. And it was apparently compulsory listening at 8:13 a.m. in whatever year it was. And it gets in there. It's just such a brilliant pop song. And when we talked about Tears for Fears a bit when we were starting to do this.
Yeah, with our producer, Craig Sylvie.
That's right.
Huge Tears for Fears fan.
Yeah. Really quality songwriters. And this song is just ageless.
Only You by YAZOO. I remember, again, almost always my musical references from the 80s and 70s are from Countdown. And I remember seeing this song, I think they were playing it live on Countdown, and being amazed at Alison Moyet's voice, for starters, and that there was this pop song that had the arpeggiated stuff going on the synthesizer, and entirely electronic, but it kind of sounded like a nursery rhyme. The melody is so pretty, and it's just this kind of descending major scale without going into music techo land, but it just moves down through the scale and back up through it. It's pretty standard in terms of the way the song progresses. Yeah. Like almost like a piece of classical music or something like that, but it's beautifully realized, incredibly produced. Yeah.
But there's a naivety.
That's right. That's right. There's something about it that will just keep you whistling along forever. And I think at the time they were dismissed initially as a little bit kind of lame or something like that, but this song has really stood the test of time. Yeah, Only You.
This is Emma Donovan and the Putbacks, a song called Don't Give Up on Me. And Emma is just an absolute powerhouse of a singer, just a lovely person, but God, she has this voice that is like it's like you feel the ground shift underneath you when you're around her voice. And she has an amazing band too, the PUTBACKS. And this is, all her stuff is fantastic. But this song, just the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, it's just the groove and the swing of this song is just so massive. And I actually texted Mick, her bass player, straight away, and I was like, I think you wrote a Rage Against the Machine song. Like, it's just like, I could almost hear like Rage Against the Machine like playing this groove. It's that big a groove.
And she's got the voice to match it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think people underestimate, because soul has been so kind of overdone, I guess. It's been around for so long and so many people have tried it and there's been all these different versions of it. And like Emma's voice, it's a true soul voice. She has so much power and kind of agility in her voice, but it's the key thing about soul music, with the singing anyway, for me, is whether you mean it or not. And from the second she opens her mouth, she's a really compelling singer, and that's the most important thing. And then you put all of her ability and actual technique and everything as a singer, which is totally natural, I understand. And it's just a really powerful package.
Yep. Killer song. Check it out. We are about to watch a video for The Deluge, another song of ours, and it's going to be really interesting to watch this, because we haven't seen it yet, because we haven't even made it.
We haven't even made it. We're going tomorrow, going to Berlin tomorrow. Very lucky to be doing that. Very fortunate to be going over there. We're planning on eating a lot of kebabs, going to some museums, catching a lot of trains, which is, I think, going to be the feature of the video. So we're going to be getting on a train or two. Yeah,
Berlin has some wonderful underground stations that all look really different. They've all got this really different tile work and different colours, which I'm told was done.
Tell me more, Paul. Sounds terribly interesting.
When they were building all these stations and doing all this tile work, they made them all really different designs and colours and stuff, because a lot of people couldn't read. So you would know what station you were at by the colours of the tile work. There you go. Very clever.
That's the Germans. Very, very clever people, aren't they?
Yeah.
Looking forward to going over there. Hopefully, by the time you see this video, it's really good. But we honestly don't know yet. So you can be the judge. This is The Deluge.
Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Bernard.
And we are Fanning Dempsey National Park.
We're taking over Rage tonight to play you some of our favourite videos from over the years. I think there's going to be some of videos from our various projects over the years as well at some stage. We're pretty excited for you to hear some of these songs. For both of us, we set the parameters for our project that we've just started between kind of mid-70s, mid-80s. So there's quite a bit of that stuff that's going to be coming your way tonight. So go and make yourself a toasty, cup of tea, maybe a bourbon and Coke, rum and Coke if you're in Queensland.
Bundy and Coke.
And stay tuned.
What are we going to watch now, Bernard?
I think we're going to watch Disconnect, Paul. By Fanning. That's by Fanning Dempsey National Park.
I've heard of those guys.
That's you and I.
It is. It is.
This is our first ever song that we've released.
Debut.
It's our debut.
Debut single.
Or debut, depending on who you ask. Not me. And this video was made in Berlin by our friend Alex. And it features Drake and Valentina from a band called Nylon Club. They became known as the Rat Bags when we were going back and forth, because they're basically sitting around smoking darts, drinking, giving people the finger, doing some karaoke, all that sort of stuff. And they were absolutely perfect for what we were hoping. Yeah. Because Paul and I, for the last 25 years, separately have been endeavouring to not be in any of our own music videos as much as possible. Yeah. Because it's a torturous process, generally.
The first few Something for Kate videos actually have another guy pretending to be the lead singer of the band. Got away with that for about 4 videos.
That's trolling.
Yeah.
You were deceived, people. Anyway.
Back to us.
Yeah, look, it's enough about him. Back to me. This is Disconnect by Fanning Dempsey National Park. Hope you enjoy it. This next song, Boys Keep Swinging by David Bowie. Between us, we probably could have programmed an entire night of David Bowie songs, I'd imagine, because he's had a pretty big impact on both of us as musicians and songwriters. This song comes from what's known as the Berlin period, where there was a series of 3 records, Low, Heroes and Lodger. Mm-hmm. This is on Lodger, I believe. Yep. And it was a period when Bowie just stepped away from the kind of guitar band idea, and strictly guitar band idea, I should say, and started to experiment more with electronic elements and synths in particular. Despite saying that, this song actually does have quite a lot of guitar in it, and it's Adrian Belew, right? Yeah. And it's just, the thing that I love about this stuff is that it's so angular. It's supposed to make you feel awkward, I guess, in listening to it, and that's part of what Brian Eno, as the producer, did was shift the idea of where melodies sit against the kind of chord progression and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and speaking of the chord progression, I mean, you can hear later in this song where none of them know where they are, that they cease to be doing the same thing, and there's a couple of bars there where the bass player's just gone right off and the guitars are going off that way. Yeah. Adrian Belew, who plays guitar on this, actually told me a story about when he went over to record. I'll just pick that up. Yeah, exactly. He dropped a name there. But him and Robert Fripp played guitar on this record, and they both flew into Switzerland, and they were supposed to have a night off before going in to record. But they arrived and they were feeling good, so they just went by the studio, and Bowie basically just said to them, okay, go into the room, the gear's all set up, put the headphones on, and the song will start playing, and I just want you to play along. And so, never having heard the stuff before, didn't even tell them what the tempo was, what key it was in, and just instructed them to play. And they basically both got to do that twice, and that's what you hear on the record. And then go home. Yeah. That's enough. It was like, you're done. It's a pretty amazing concept, because in the studio, it's such a controlled environment in so many ways. And I guess relating it back to what we did with this project, we were both trying to push ourselves into less comfortable territory. In terms of writing songs with just guitars and pianos and whatnot, using synthesizers and trying to push each other into different places. So anyway, that's quite the story. That's all the time we have. Yeah, good night, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy New Year. This is Boys Keep Swinging by David Bowie. Hello, I'm Bernard. And I'm Paul. And we are from Fanning Dempsey National Park. And you are watching Rage. So, folks, hope you're enjoying yourselves. This next song, in 1982, I think it was 1982, could have been 1983, I was at Time Zone in Brisbane with my brother, Paul, and our next door neighbour, Ingrid, playing the pennies. It was a Saturday afternoon. We'd ridden our bikes in there from Toowong. Rode our bikes in, didn't even need a chain in those days, not like a lock-up chain, didn't even need it in Brisbane in those days. It was just sitting there against the no standing sign outside Time Zone. Social contract. Exactly. Time Zone was right next door to the stage door of Festival Hall in Brisbane. So we finished our pennies, been playing Disco Fever, Corgar, that kind of gag. Came out of Time Zone to get the bikes, and there's a guy standing there saying, hey, do you want to, I think he was a full geezer as well, and he's like, do you want a ticket to a show? And we're like, what do you mean? And he was like, Duran are about to play a matinee show, and I've got some tickets here. And we're like, hell yeah. This is early days. This is before there were all age shows and all that sort of stuff going on. So the first band that I ever saw was Duran. Went in. It was like 3:00 on a Saturday afternoon. And obviously they were a teeny band. in the early days especially, and went in there. It blew my mind. I'd never been in front of a PA before either.
Yeah, right. Blew your ears too.
And from that day on, Nick Rhodes has been a style icon of mine. I've never actually reflected it in my own style. I've just always pictured myself with a giant red fringe and some kind of pirate shirt with heaps of ruffles and stuff on it.
Yep.
But they were an amazing live band. They put on a full-on show. There was probably 200 or 300 kids in there, and mums at the back.
I wonder where they pulled them from. Like they didn't just go to Time Zone offering free tickets.
I guess that it was because it was such early days. People didn't even consider that a matinee show was something you would do or go to. I'd imagine that they were kind of a little bit pioneering in that regard. And obviously, this is the early days. This would have been Girls on Film era, I guess. Rio, that sort of stuff.
Right.
Duran obviously went on, still going.
Still going, yeah.
They're older than us.
Playing at a Grand Prix near you, I think.
So, and I think this is from their first record, Planet Earth. And I think when the chorus comes, you have to dance like that.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba. That's Simon's
that was
thing.
Girls on Film, wasn't it? What song is this?
This
Planet
is
Earth.
Planet Earth. Ba, ba,
We
ba.
covered a Duran song once.
Did you?
Ordinary World. Wonderful song.
So did Powderfinger,
That song.
the chauffeur.
Oh, same
different song.
tribute album. Different
Same
song,
band.
same tribute album. Different band.
Oh, it would have been the same record.
Probably.
Pretty likely. As you may have surmised by now, we do have a tendency to crap on. So here's Planet Earth by DURAN. This next song is one that Paul and I bonded over many times. It may be slightly unexpected in that regard. I am the youngest in my family. I had a brother who was 10 years older than me. And he was at university in the late 70s. So he was in that era of going to see bands in Brisbane at Festival Hall of, like Fleetwood Mac, Jackson Browne, Billy Joel, and Dire Straits. And Dire Straits I remember really clearly, he was in the room next to us. He used to play his cassettes in there. And I remember when he brought home Making Movies and put it on, and hearing it and just thinking, I don't want to like this, because we were at war with him about Kiss. He didn't like Kiss, but my other brother and I were massive Kiss fans, and we were like, Ace Frehley's the greatest guitarist that's ever lived, right? And we ended up having a guitar off about Dire Straits and Kiss. So we went in, played Shock Me from Alive 2 by Kiss to him, played in the solo. It was like, okay, there you go, beat that. And then he played us Sultans of Swing. Right. Anyway.
Whittly.
The actual point of this song is not, melodically, lyrically, everything, it's like an almost perfect kind of sad love ballad. But the key, Paul, to this song is what?
It's the drums. This, in my humble opinion, might be the finest recorded drum performance in modern music.
Pick Withers.
Yeah, not just the actual sound of the kit, that is amazing, but the playing on this song, it's an amazing song, and it can go by you and you can just go, wow, that's an incredible song, without really noticing the details of what make it so incredible. But it's the drums. The way the drums swell at different points in the song, they are providing all of the drama and all of the kind of, emotional punches.
They wind you up, and then they pull you back down when you need to be brought back down, so that gets back down to the guitar riff and all of that stuff.
Yeah, because
we haven't even talked about the guitar riff.
And look, everyone knows Mark Knopfler is an incredible guitar player, but, this is not one of those... You don't hear an electric guitar until the outro when the song's kind of done, then he pulls out the electric guitar.
When your heart's fully broken.
Exactly, when you're just getting weepy.
Because
of the drums, because the drummer made you weepy.
And because when they made love, he used to cry.
That's right.
Poor Mark. Poor Knopf. But he was so heartbroken that he wore 2 sweatbands and a headband when he was playing in front of people.
So he had something to mop up
And
all
not
those
playing
tears.
tennis. He wasn't even playing tennis.
He wiped his eyes.
Anyway, this is Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits.
Many people don't know as well that Mark Knopfler wrote Romeo and Juliet. The book's based on the song.
Play.
Yeah, the play's based on this song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, William, Shakespeare,
Yeah.
Knopfler.
Yeah.
But his brother
He's a veteran.
claimed he wrote it,
That's right.
which is why they broke up in the end. Yeah. Anyway, Romeo and Juliet.
Hello, I'm Paul.
And I'm Bernard.
And we are Fanning Dempsey National Park.
And you people are watching
Rage. I've had the pleasure of programming Rage on a number of occasions now, and I don't think I've ever been able to get through one without programming Iron Maiden. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here is your obligatory dose of Iron Maiden. And this time around, I've gone for Aces High, I believe, which I may have done before, but it's a classic. You can't go wrong. Iron Maiden are just a very, very important band to me. I pretty much taught myself how to play guitar and drums and stuff just by listening to their double live album, Live After Death, over and over and over until every note was just jammed in there. And so they're just a part of me, really.
And we've said it before, and we'll say it again. We actually talked about Iron Maiden quite a bit through this project when we were doing guitarmonies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you don't like Iron Maiden, you're dead inside. Okay? So take a long, hard look at yourself. If you don't like Iron Maiden, get around it.
You're about to see a live performance of a song called Jordan, Minnesota by a band called Big Black. Big Black was Steve Albini's band, who very sadly left us recently, far too young. Steve Albini was responsible for some amazing musical projects of his own, but also he produced so many fantastic bands, records that I personally loved. And just, I discovered Big Black when I was about 14 years old, and they just blew my mind. Like punk rock with a drum machine. He was just a fearless guy with very strong opinions. He's just attached to so many incredible artists. So if you haven't heard Big Black before, this is a pretty incredible video.
R.I.P. Steve.
This next song is by a band called Idols. The song is called Gift Horse. I just saw this video recently and it blew my mind. It's a very, very good music video. It's I don't even know how to describe it, but it just kind of feels like the world, like the cultural whatever that we find ourselves in. I don't even know how to describe it. I was going to say miasma. Yeah, miasma is a good word. Anything with a S and M right next to each other feels like it suits this video. It's just...
Who knew?
Yeah, it's zoom.
S&M, Paul Dempsey. Newsflash.
This video belongs in MoMA, I think. It's like the first time I saw it, it did remind me of like video installations I've seen in galleries and stuff, just where you're really confronted by images that don't necessarily bear any relationship to each other, and you're just kind of going, oh, what am I seeing? Like that scene in A Clockwork Orange where he's got his eyeballs pinned open and he's just being... It's a bit like that. It's kind of crazy and beautiful and strange and confronting. Yeah, but it's a great video.
MITSKI. Mine or Mine. My Love, Mine or Mine. This song, I love the way that this sounds really modern and really traditional at the same time, this song. Mm-hmm. The way that she puts songs together it's really economical. I think it is maybe just a bit over 2 minutes or something, this song. And I love when songs say all they need to say in that short a time. The video for this is actually amazing as well. It's a big tower of chairs that she climbs up, and the whole time you're watching it, you're kind of anxious and nervous that it's going to fall over or she's going to fall off. But there's this beautiful sweeping landscape of music behind it. It's really, really cleverly done. MITSKI, My Love, Mine on Mine. Enjoy. Hello, I'm Bernard.
And I'm Paul.
And we are Fanning Dempsey National Park.
And you are watching Rage. All right, this next song is Not Strong Enough by a supergroup called BOYGENIUS. Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, Lucy Dacus. This was probably my favourite song of last year. I just played it over and over and over again. And then my daughter played it over and over and over again. And it is genius.
Amazing record.
Yeah, the whole record's fantastic.
So good.
But yeah, check it out. Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Bernard.
And we are Fanning Dempsey National Park.
You're watching Rage.
This next video is for a song of ours called Deluge. And we haven't made the video yet. What are you doing tomorrow, Bernard?
We're actually going on an overseas trip tomorrow, Paul. Yeah. Going to the European Union, to Germany in particular. Okay. Where are we going to go in Germany, Paul?
We're going to Berlin. We're going to see our friend Alex, who made the other video to Disconnect. And we're going to make a video for this song, so it better be good because we're spending a lot of time talking about it.
I hope you're listening, Alex. It's the idea of the video, as far as we know so far, is that it's going to be featuring that Berlin has all of these amazing underground train stations, and there's a bit of animation of the tiles in those places in particular. Yep. I think Paul's going to be breathing fire at some stage.
Yeah, I'm going to practice that on the plane on the way over.
That'll go well. Yeah, and I'm going to be taming snakes, so I'll also practice that on the plane.
Yep, it's going to be great. It's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah,
they're going to love us in the lounge.
Yes. I'm not a member of the lounge. I'll have to go in with him, with old Mr. Snotty Pants over here.
Fucking hell.